Hey everybody, it's me, Onion Creature. I'm here to bring to your attention the latest release from Nitrome. Nitrome is one of my favorite developers. I know them from their Flash game days many a year ago, and Nitrome has begun to re-release some of their classic Flash games. The first of which is Twin Shot, released as Twin Shot Deluxe, available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. I played through the Nintendo Switch version. I'll be frank, I am more interested in some of the upcoming titles than I am in Twin Shot specifically. I will say one thing that did stand out about the original is the music, which is preserved here, and we also have some new music, but By God is the main track, a total banger. This is a level-based action co-op game where you shoot arrows at various enemies. Most of them are these blob things. And the game structure is pretty simplistic. You just clear a level and then progress to the next one. This was more of a co-op game than a single-player one in that you could play with two people, one on the WASD, as I recall, and the other on the arrow keys. So it was a pretty neat structure, and now we have a more modern interpretation of that where you can use video game controllers. Isn't that nice? I feel like I probably didn't get the best experience playing this game in that I just played through it single player. With that said, it was still enjoyable, but I think the big appeal of this game is going to be playing it in couch co-op if you are able to do that. In this deluxe version, one of the big things that has been added that I didn't really think about is that the game is now 60 FPS, and based on the eShop description by Nitrome, the original was apparently 20 FPS. Such were the limitations of that format at that time. So that's a big enhancement and makes the game very smooth to play. The levels have also been transferred into a widescreen format. That's another great quality of life update. And now, instead of only being 2-player co-op, we have up to 4-player co-op. Unlockable bonuses like costumes and hats, and you can adjust the difficulty quite easily by changing how often power-ups appear or buying the ability to skip levels. So there's lots of options like that. Some of them reference other Nitrome games, which is pretty great. Nitrome really was kind of the Nintendo of Flash games back in the day, in that they had a very consistent level of quality, a sort of uniform art style, and thematic elements that carried over through their various titles. And I'm so pleased that Nitrome is finally re-releasing their classic games on console. That's amazing. I've wanted that for a long time. There have been a couple other Nitrome games released in the past couple of years. Bomb Chicken was a fairly early Switch game that was really enjoyable, had some great puzzles. Then we had a port of the mobile game Gunbrick, which is in itself an expanded version of the Flash game Gunbrick, which is also a really excellent puzzle game. And then they collaborated with Yacht Club Games on Shovel Knight Dig, a roguelike Shovel Knight game, which is of a pretty good quality. That's a very fine title. This, however, is harkening back to the roots. I feel I do tend to prefer the puzzle-based Nitrome titles. With that said, there are some puzzle-like elements. There's a few levels I got stuck on for a bit, but it was largely pretty manageable. Also want to point out these characters. I wasn't ever entirely sure what they are, but based on the description, I guess they're angel cats. I always thought they looked a bit like hamsters or something, but I guess that's what they are. They're kind of chubby little cat guys. Character design in general is always a strong point of Nitrome games. They're very good at making blob characters, and there's many a blob in this game. Some new elements have been added. I believe many of the levels are new, and there's an entirely new Atlantis level scheme. The game is themed around Greek mythology, so it's a little bit Kid Icarus-esque. We have level themes like Hades and Olympus, and each of these level themes has 50 stages and then a boss fight. I did like this structure. The game does not overstay its welcome. It's about 5 hours long. The variety level isn't super high. You are fighting a lot of the same enemies, but the boss battles do mix it up, and there's a lot of new mechanics introduced in the Atlantis levels. So it's a fair amount of content, and there's a good amount of replayability if you want to unlock everything. There's a big focus on collecting coins, and you can use those to buy the various upgrades and costumes. So I definitely recommend checking out Twin Shot Deluxe if you are in the mood for a retro action co-op video game. It's a very good time, and I really am looking forward to some of the other Nitrome Classics releases that are scheduled for the future. One of those is the game Skywire, which is a really fun game where you are controlling a skywire, and it's pretty unique and fun. So there's been a couple games like those that have been announced, but there's a few that have not been announced that I would love to see, the most major of which is the Test Subject series, first of which is Test Subject Blue, and then it becomes a trilogy with Test Subject Green and Test Subject Complete. Those are always my favorite of the Nitrome games. They tried a bit more to tell a story, and the puzzles are also really great. It feels quite a bit like a 2D version of Portal at times. That little trilogy has a lot going for it, and I'd love to see a remastered version of that as well. So yeah, Twin Shot Deluxe. Shout out to Nitrome. They've still got it after so many years, still making great stuff, and hope they continue to re-release their classic games because they are very cool. Thank you and goodbye.